Let's see here. Is this working? Looks like it might be working. Hello, come on. There it is. Yay. We're up and live. All right. Hold on. Hey, everyone. So what we're going to do today is we are going to work on the modular control unit. So this is the brains of R2-D2. This is all 3D printed, and over the last couple of months, I've been kind of like populating all these removable boards with components. I've done some preliminary wiring just to see if I can get this thing moving. I've gotten to the point where R2 can make sounds, and he can, his dome will rotate just fine. The next thing I need to do is to get the motors hooked up and running. So this is the voltage side, and it's got a bunch of isolating switches along the bottom here. These will serve to make sure there's no backfeed if I'm manually moving R2-D2 around, or if I'm moving the dome around. We don't want to encourage, I guess, voltage spikes going back into the system and possibly damaging stuff. And I figured, well, the most easiest way to do that is just with some switches. So I've got one for the left leg, one for the right leg, one for the dome, and one for the main. Now, for the main power, all these are not hooked up to anything. They're just on the MCU, just as a placeholder. I'm going to have a 18-volt rail coming in, and I'm going to split that in a few ways. I'm going to split the 18 volts to an 18 to 5 volt buck converter, and that's going to go into this fuse box. And then I'm going to go 18 volts into a 12 volt buck converter, and that's going to go into this fuse box. Right now, the only thing that requires the 12 volts is, I believe, the amp. So this is all the power distribution side. And on the other side, this is where all the brains are. And you're probably wondering, what the living hell is this thing? Because it looks weird. And usually people don't put this in. This is something that I thought, hey, this would probably be a good idea, because if I'm ever working on the power side of the board, I want to be able to actually lay it down without damaging any of the connections to any of these boards. So I've got my Siren motor controller for the dome, and I got my Sabertooth motor controller for the two leg motors. The dome is working. The leg motors I haven't really hooked up. I've got an Arduino Mega 2560 board for running R2-D2. I'm running Shadow RC version 1. I don't have the ability to run version 2 because that requires all new hardware, and version 2 was released after I had purchased all this other stuff. So I've got the Arduino board taking care of all of R2's functions. I've got, where are they? There it is. Hold on. Controlling R2. I've got, what are these? Apis Queen remotes. Okay, these are 6-channel remotes, and they're plugged into the Arduino board, and there's 2 receivers here. And there's also an MP3 trigger that is for all of R2 sounds. That feeds into, what does that feed into? That goes into a ground loop isolator. That gets rid of the buzz, and then that ground loop isolator dumps into the 12 volt amp, and that goes to the speakers that are already installed on R2. So yeah, that's the whole purpose of this thing, is so that I can lay it down on its side without damaging anything. And these are just 45 millimeter standoffs that you can get on Amazon. I have to get a couple more. I think there's 20 more I have to order, but this gets me in the right ballpark. So I think that's it. So I'm just going to be tinkering away. Hey, Nick. What's going on? All right. All right. Now takes. I'm going to be working on this. Oh, should I take this off? Shit. Okay, maybe what I'll do, I'll take the white parts off, but I'll leave the brass standoffs in place. This is a little strange because I have to work on both sides at the same time, depending on what it is that I'm doing. I'm just looking at the chat. What were you wondering, Nick? I should probably move this a little bit down. I think he was wondering what the cage is all about. All right. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to take off the main power module where the power comes in. Okay, let's go around here. I'm going to take, this is tricky. All right. Okay, I'm going to undo these wires. Get rid of these. Okay. Take this apart. All right. Wait, what? Oh, right. Okay. I was expecting wires here, but I had forgotten that I actually don't have the main power to be something that's switchable. All right. Noted. Okay. Back. So I gotta take this off. This is real exciting stuff. I don't know how many times I've taken this thing apart. Okay. There we go. Now we got some wires. So this is the main power. Where does this go? Oh, damn it. Oh, okay. I promise this isn't amateur hour. Okay. I gotta remind myself how I've got this configured. Okay. Power goes in, then it splits to the secondary buck converter, I think, right? Where does it go? Okay, here we go. All right, that makes sense. Where does this fucker go? Shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to start cutting wires. Okay. So, one of the reasons why I'm doing this overhaul is I trusted, I probably shouldn't have. I went on to Amazon to buy my wire, and I don't know. I've never heard of this brand. It's fine. You know, it did the job temporarily, but it's the first problem is it's PVC bonded wire, and when it says bonded, that means like the black and the red wires are actually bonded together. You can split them apart as you need to, but they come bonded. I think the wrapping is PVC, and it's pretty stiff. It's not great, and the number of conductors in here is really low, and they're very fragile. I can literally break them apart just like that in my hand. And what that means is that the more you wrench on the mobile control unit, the more likely that you're going to have a short where a wire has come loose or is detached itself completely. Is garbage wire. It's fine for temporary hookups, but anything permanent, it's shit. So it's all got to go. It's all got to go. It's cheap wire. You get what you pay for. That's for sure. But it's garbage. So what I ended up doing is I got better wire from, I think it's Studica.ca here in Canada. This is silicone bonded wire. So it's not PVC, it's silicone. So it's a lot more flexible. And there's a lot more cores in the wire. So this is 12 gauge. This stuff is pretty thick. I can't even start to count how many cores there are in here. And then I've got 16 gauge, and off to the side I got 22 gauge for signaling and servo controls. Anyways, all right, back to the mess. I want to get this out. Oh, there we are. Perfect. All right, so this main, oh, shit. Okay, I gotta think about this. So main power is going to get switched first. So let's do that. This is 18 volt. So if this is 18 volts, I'm going to use the 12 gauge wire. It's probably overkill. I wanted to get 14 gauge, but they didn't have any, so I went with 12. All right, I'm just going to put this off to the side for now. Give myself some room. 18 gauge. Shit. Or no, wait. This is I'm getting ready to solder, and I want to get this cleaning sponge. There, soap with water. Okay. If I'm working with a 12 gauge, I'm going to need a bigger soldering gun. I'm going to break this bad boy out. This is the first time I've used this one in a long time. I don't even know if it works. I'm going to find out. Okay, first things first. I gotta get rid of this. All right. Okay. Now, luckily, yeah, these have the polarity on the body of the connector, so I can't screw this up. At least not on purpose, anyways. Or at least I shouldn't. You're gonna see as I wrench on this. You're gonna see how crappy this wire is. It's barely like. It doesn't take much for it to fail. I can already feel it failing. See, done. See, garbage. Garbage. Garbage wire. I don't know if I want to use this soldering gun. I want to use a new tip. I'll try this. Let's see how it works. All right. Oh, good. It's getting warm. All right. Okay. 12 gauge wire. How much? I guess that's always a question. Okay, 12 gauge wire. What else am I using? Heat shrink tubing. Heat shrink. Let's see here. All right. I also need some solder. Okay. Okay, heat shrink. Where is this? All right. These wire strippers are awesome. Like, they have saved my ass from frustration with stripping wire. It's awesome. These are Milwaukee branded. You can get other ones. I think these are $40. They're great for doing projects like this. Although with the 12 gauge wire, I actually have to hold down on one of these arms so that it strips the wire and doesn't like slip out of the clamp. So it's not that big of a deal. Just like that. Should be stripped. All right. Now, I need some flux. Flux. Oh, crap. Where's my flux? Wait. There it is. Got it. All right. Always be cleaning. Always be cleaning. All right. First thing I want to do is I want to tin these. I'm wondering if I can like create a trigger thing for this. Let's see here. That way it's always on. I know it's probably not ideal, but I have is on than constantly trying to turn it on and turn it off or have it reheat. I don't know if this thing's going to even work. It's been years since I've used it. Oh yeah, she's working. What would be cool, and I don't even know if this is a product, but I wish there was a way that you can have a tray of just solder. It doesn't have to be this big, but it serves as a dipping tray where it's always hot and the solder's always molten. And all you have to do is just basically apply flux and then dip your ends in. Is that a thing? I don't know. It might be a thing. I don't know. All right. And also, I don't have one of those third hand things, you know, with the clampy things. I don't have one of those. I kind of wish I did, but I don't. Anyway, I think this stream will probably go for an hour, and I'm going to see how it goes. So I'm not sure how far I'm going to get in this. I might do multi-part stuff. I don't know. I'm going to play it by ear. I don't know if you guys can see this. So what I'm doing now, I'm just tinning the end of this wire. I probably should have some sort of filtration system, but I'm not doing a lot of soldering these days. I imagine if I was doing a lot of soldering, yeah, I would have like an air filter or something nearby, but I don't. All right, I'm just going to let that shoot for a while. Make sure I got, see, there's still some strands here. Come on. This 12 gauge wire is a bitch to tin. It's really thick. All right. Okay. Oh boy. All right. That should work. Where's my cup of water? I didn't think I would need this, but let's cool it off. I might as well mix this. Oh shit. Oh, I can't turn this off. Oh geez, that was stupid. Figures. I locked it up. It's so tight. There we go. I want to be able to. There we go. Safety's off. All right. Not great. But whatever. All right. First things first. What is this? That's the negative side. That's the positive side. All right. We'll do the negative first and get some heat shrink on this first. At least try to. Yeah, that's not going to work. This will work though here. Ah! All right, heat shrink away. Take a red one. These can go back. Man, this is going to be brutal. All right. I've got a different soldering gun or soldering iron. I use this for the fine stuff. This is the first time. It's undersized for 12 gauge wire. This is actually a soldering iron that I got from Radio Shack back in the day. And Radio Shack used to sell these tips, but seeing that Radio Shack is no longer a thing anymore, these little tips, because they wear out over time. I ended up finding tips at Canadian Tire. They're like $6 a piece. So for two of them, you have to pay $12, which is insane. But you know, you got to do what you have to do. And what I end up doing is they wear out over time. They get oxidized, and they no longer work. They start looking like trash. They kind of look like this. That's all oxidized and worn out. What I do, these have an M6 thread. So what I did is I got an M6 stud. I think these are studs or a grub screw. And that allows you to thread the end in. And then you can chuck this into a drill. And then you can run some sandpaper or a file to get rid of all the oxidation. Anyways, if you don't put in the grub screw, the metal's really soft. If you put it in a chuck of a drill press or a drill, it's going to deform the end of these ends, and you're not going to be able to put it back onto your soldering iron. Anyways, pro tip from me to you. Exciting tip. All right. Okay, let's see here. I'm sure this is plenty warm. So we're working on the negative side. So I'm just going to heat onto this connector. Get some solder on it. I wish I had like a better way of showing what I'm doing, but I don't. I don't even know if this thing's hot. I may have to change the end on this because it's all oxidized. It's not really performing the way how I want it to. Come on. Yeah, see. Yeah, it's not even hot. It's not even hot. All right. I'm gonna let that cool off. I think the end is. Is borked. So lucky for me, I have an extra end. So I'm just gonna let that cool off for a bit. So anyway, so this end, I've got some heat shrink tubing on. Now the OCD part of me is saying, hey, why don't you make those two the exact same length so they're not different. So seeing I have some time on my hands, I might as well make them close to the same length. There we go. Neat, Matt. Stay neat. Okay. Heat shrink on. How long does this need to be? Well, this needs to go to the switch. So, how long does this need to be? Well, it's going to go. Oh, Jesus. All right, it's going to go from here. One leg's going to go to the switch. It's going to come out of the switch. It's going to go into the positive and negative bus bars. I wonder if I can get that done in an hour. I have half an hour left. I think I can do that. If I can get that ironed out, I'll be laughing. All right, so lengthwise, I don't know. How long do I need to go from there to there? A foot? About? I guess. And actually, it's from here to here. So, I don't know, 12 inches? 12 inches of wire? Will that do it? I guess. We'll go 14. We'll go 14. Just to be sure. So I'll cut this at 14. Again, I'm just waiting for the soldering iron to cool off so I can, all right, so that's about 14 right there. Cut this. All right, perfect. Put that away. Okay. Let's, Jesus, man. This thing's all sorts of messed up. Okay. Let's figure this out. Crap on a cracker. Okay. I hope this isn't hot. I'm gonna burn myself. Not today. Oh wow, that guy was loose. All right. Well, definitely not hot. I think I can get replacement ends from Canadian Tire or even Home Depot for this one. Again, I've had these for years, but I just don't have the funds available to get those really expensive ones. Oh, all right, so these have, I have to bend little hooks into them. Great. Wow, this thing's really messed up. Okay. Let's, geez, I don't even remember the last time I switched this out. Okay. All right. So put those back in. Now I just need to bend it. I guess I can go in either direction, so I'm going to bend it like that, about 90 degrees. Why not? There. Where's the camera? There it is. All right. I hope I can fit this in there. Should be able to. Let's see. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Get in there. There we go. It's taking a little while for the threads to grab. Having a hard time with this upper one. Come on. Oh, the joys. Matt, why don't you build a life-size R2-D2? You know, it's a lot of fun. All right. Good grief. All right. So I got one working, but the top one doesn't want to go in. Why? Why do not want to work? Hey, there we go. All right. course, you're going to properly torque this down to, I don't know, what, 5 foot-pounds? You're right. Click! Maybe one more. Click! All right. Okay, cool. We're back up and running. All right. Let's see here. Let's see how long it takes to heat up now. See, this is a 100 and 140 watt soldering iron, but I forget which setting is the 100 watt. Ooh, yeah, she's boiling water. Awesome. All right, let's get rid of this. Be careful, that's a hot iron. Don't do anything stupid. All right, let's see here. Oh, jeez. Look at that. It's like fucking butter. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. Like butter. All right. I'm just going to, again, I wouldn't use this if it weren't for the fact that it was 12 gauge wire. I'd use a smaller one. Damn. That's a solid connection. All right. Let's do the positive. Wow, I've got no viewers. Yay. I'm so glad I set this up. All right. Oh my God. This thing's awesome. This thing's awesome. Who would have thought a new tip would be awesome? Look at that. That's awesome. Cool. We'll just get the, I should probably cool it off a bit. All right. Get the heat shrink. I kind of wish I had one of those mini butane torch. I don't have one of those, so I'll have to do it old school with a silly Bic lighter. Get the heat shrink on. Yay. Cool. Nice. All right. Let's split this end. Oh, shoot. See? See what happened? I wasn't careful enough. I'm going to have to fix that. I wasn't holding it down strong enough, so let's take two. There we go. Much better. All right. These are going to go into the bus terminals, or the bus bars along the top. So what I want to do is I want to get some ends on this. Let's break that down. All right. Okay. Let's get this out. Figure out what size of ring I can use on this. Yeah, that'll work. It's a little undersized. I'd rather not use that. Can I use this? Oh yeah, that'll work. I'm just trying to figure out if I have the right size end for these, which I do. Well, ish. Okay. Okay. work. Okay, what I want to do is I want to get rid of the jacket on here. I'm just removing the red part on these connectors because the connectors themselves are a little bit small for the conductor that I'm going to be using. There, now they're all stripped out. And what I'll do is I'll widen these connectors to receive the 12 gauge wire. I kind of wish I had larger ones, but I don't. So I'm going to make do with what I have. I need another screwdriver. Here we go. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just widening the holes. That goes there. Just a little bit. I don't know how old this little vise is. It's probably as old as I am. I vaguely remember having it when I was racing RC cars back in the late 80s. All right. There. So what I end up doing, I just, I don't know if you can see that, I widen the end. All right, cool. Let's turn on this. Time is it? Oof. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time for this. It's already 1:45. All I've done is one connector. Lame. Lame. Okay, let me get the heat shrink on. Now the question is, I gotta tin these ends anyways. Let's tin these away. All right. Pretty. All right, let's tin these. There we go. Oh my God. Switching that end is made a huge difference. Nice. Okay. Cool. The only problem is that thing's on all the time. Be careful around it. All right. Nice. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard, but I don't have any zoom function. I'm just using my phone, but anyways, let's tin this. You know. Okay, tinned. I'm gonna slide this bad boy into it without burning me. That would be preferable. Oh my God, this is confusing. This is where I'm going to burn myself. I probably shouldn't do it like that. There we go. Now I got more control. Come on. There we go. We're in. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Cool these off. It's not bad. That'll work. That'll work. All right. Let's get this tubing on. It's not bad. That'll work. See if I can. See, people who do this for a living, they've got the skill. I don't. Well, I mean, like I can build stuff, but people who talk on live streams describing what it is that they're doing, that's a skill. All I have is an iPhone. Makes it really hard to be any good at anything. Anyways, all right, cool. Now, this is neat. We're making progress. All right, let's put this bad boy back in here. Just like that. This wire is so much better. Ugh. I knew it. I knew it as soon as I picked it up. Right, I got it delivered from Amazon. I knew it. That wire was trash. It work hardens so quick. And for those who don't know what work hardening is, it's when you have a piece of metal. I'm sure there's a more accurate way of describing work hardening, but it's when you take a piece of wire and you're flexing it back and forth over and over and over. And then what happens, it becomes brittle and then it breaks. That's work hardening. And that's a problem with that cheap wire that I got. It's just terrible stuff. This stuff, though, this silicone braided, it was expensive, not gonna lie. I think for the 3 rolls, it was $190. And that includes $50 next day shipping, which was a little pricey, but oh, come on. There we go. It was a little pricey, but you get what you pay for. All right. 50 minutes, and that's all I've done. Oh my God, this is going to take like 12 years. All right. Second thing I need to do now is that's the main power in. That has to be switchable. I have to be able to turn it off, and also have to make it so that no one can turn it on accidentally by removing this piece. So what I need to do, I need to take the positive lead, and I got to split it. I got to splice it so the switch interrupts the flow. So the question is, how far? Well, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. All right. Jeez Louise. All right, that goes there, and then eventually it's going to go up. Oh no. Is this not long enough? Oh no, please tell me this is long enough. Ooh, I may not have put this long enough. All right. Oh, all right. I'm just going to put a mark here. That's a, well, where? All right. Okay. All right. Now, what I need to do is I need to interrupt. I need to interrupt the power. Oy, oy, oy. 8 minutes left. I don't think I'm gonna make it. That's fine. Let's heat this bad boy up. I'm gonna need 2 more terminals. And 2 more pieces of heat shrink. All right. Get rid of this. How long should I go? Should I go for the hour? Or until the task is done? Why don't we go for until the task is done? Okay, why don't we do that? We're gonna go over an hour. Oh my God, come on. But we're gonna go until the task is done. That's what we'll do. All right. That thing's gonna be piping hot. That thing's gonna be real hot. That. Okay, done. All right. Flux. Heat shrink. Flux. Nice. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. So I don't know if you can see, there's like hundreds of strands of cores here. This is awesome wire. It's great. And before you solder it to anything, you have to tin the end. You have to apply solder so that it acts as one and it's not going to be frayed. So what you do is you apply this. This is called flux. It makes the solder run a lot easier rather than just feeding copious amounts of solder to it. This helps it actually tin it. Again, I kind of wish I had a way of like bringing you in closer, but I don't, at least not now. Oh man, changing that tip was a fucking game changer. All right, you can see how that one's now tinned. I don't know if you can see it there. Okay, nice. We are making progress. Slowly but surely, we are making progress. I hope I didn't shortchange how long this wire actually needs to be. If I did, I'm going to be mad with myself. I'm not going to be happy. All right, come on, get in there. Oh, crap on a cracker. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to go. Come on, work with me. Come on. Ah, here we go. Ooh, gross. Ew. All right, that is ugly. All right, that is nasty looking. Ugh. Barf. That's not cool. That did not go well. It's serviceable, but yeah, not great. Where's my lighter? We'll just cover up my mistakes with heat shrink tubing because that's what I do. All right. All right. All right. One more to do. I can turn this off. Come on. Oh, God, that's gross. Barf. Ugh. That is, well, it's on. It just looks like hell. It's fine. It's not great. I've done better work. All right. Now, here's the thing. Oh boy, I'm feeling a little uneasy on this. All right. Well, you might as well in for a penny, in for a pound. I think that's what the saying is. Okay. Let's get this in. That's my main power. Why is this thing crooked? Oh. that's why. All right. All right. There we go. Let's see here. Okay. I have to see where the wire is. Crap. All right. I have a funny feeling that a lot of this rework is going to be a lot of me screwing and unscrewing stuff. All right, there you go. Oh no, don't tell me. Oh boy. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, I have a problem. Oh, and there goes my buck converter. So I have a problem. I cut this a little too short. It's not quite long enough. I don't think it's quite long enough to get to the end or to the switch. I can try. I can try. Okay. Good grief. If it's long enough, it's just barely long enough. Oh, good God. Oh. I don't know. Is this therapeutic to watch? I don't know. It's a live stream. Like, I have to keep my expectations really low because, one, I've never done this. Two, it's a live stream. It's not an edited video. All right. Let's see here. Average view duration, 35 seconds. Yeah, I believe it. This isn't really riveting stuff, I'll tell you that much. All right. But I wanted to try something new. Okay, I'm going to split this there. That goes like that. Okay, oh my God, I might actually have enough slack. Oh, yeah. Please. Oh, okay, I have to remember this. If this works, I'll be amazed. I will be amazed. Okay. Oh, geez. This is going to get close. Oh my God. I'm like almost there. It's almost. Oh boy. Man. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. I should have paid better attention to where I was cutting. Not ideal, but switches on. All right, now. Oh my God. All right. Good grief. What is this stuff? Where is this going? All right. I need to route these wires through here to get to the bus bar, which means I have to take apart 8 screws. I'm getting close to an hour. Oh my gosh. 10 screws, I should say. I think what I'll do is, as I put this back together, I will put all the screws in. All right. Let's see here. Please, 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 please be long enough. Oops. We might have it, people. We might have enough. If this actually works, I am going to be amazed. Oof, that is not a lot of slack. Yike. Wow. This is going to get close. Woof. Like, seriously? That's close. All right. Wow. Okay. What I want to do now is I want to bend these tabs down. Or do I? Here's what I'll do is I'm going to... Okay, so I don't need... I don't have much of a choice. I gotta have them. Carry with it. All right. All right. We are getting there, people. Okay, I'm gonna have to bend this. We are getting there. I'm going to bend this down like that. This guy is going to have to be bent down like that. 30 seconds. Or who's watching? Nick, are you watching again? I don't know. Who's watching at this point? We're almost done. All right. There's one. All right. Huh. All right. We made it. I think we made it, people. Whoops, that's not right. Hold on. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. All right. Wow. That was close. I almost screwed up the whole thing. We now have power to the 18-volt bus bars. Yay, let's all celebrate. Let's just double check. Continuity. Select. Do we? Where's my? There it is. Continuity. All right. What is this? Oh, this is negative. Negative to negative. I should have continuity. Yes. Positive to positive. No continuity until I flip the switch. Yay. Done. That only took an hour and a quarter. Oh my God. What did I get myself into? Anyways. All right. So you're probably wondering, what does this all mean? All right. 18 volts go in here. It's switched. So I can have a master switch to turn it on and off. That goes up to the 18-volt bus bars. These bus bars are going to act as a distribution method to split the 18 volts. 18 volts, I need a run that goes from here to the Siren motor controller. I need 18 volts to go from here again to the Sabertooth motor controller, because both of those work off of 18 volts. And then after that, I'll have two feeds going. One feed going to the 18 to 5 volt buck converter, which is this bad boy. And then another one going to the 18 to 12 volt buck converter. So that's what's next. Oh my God, 75 minutes. All right. I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna go find myself some new solder. This stuff is old and I'm almost running out. So thanks, Nick, for joining, or anyone else who's joining. I'll catch you next time.